In the year 2341, loneliness was considered a curable disease. The Interplanetary Union had perfected the Harmony algorithm, a neural matching system that could scan every synapse in your brain and pair you with your perfect companion anywhere in the known galaxy. It wasn't just about love. Harmony could match you for friendship, partnership, or life bonding. Once you entered the chamber, the algorithm mapped your mind, your memories, even the flickers of emotion that defined your personality. Everyone I knew had already gone through it. My brother found his perfect partner on one of Saturn's moons, a woman who literally shared his dreams. My coworker was matched with a sentient AI that completed her every thought. And me. I was the last one on my colony without a match. So, when my name finally appeared on the synchronization board, I felt a nervous thrill crawl up my spine. The words pulsed in green across the holoscreen. Match found. Entity 997 AE. Species. Intern. Compatibility. 99.7%. Location. Planet Zalus. Perfect match. But not human. The overseer tried to hide his unease as he handed me the data tablet. You're one of the rare cross-species matches. It's unusual. He cleared his throat. Your match, code-named Vyalira, has been through several synchronization attempts. None were successful. He frowned. What happened to the others? He hesitated. They didn't make it. Part 1. The journey to Zalus. The shuttle to Zalus was a silent coffin of metal and hum. The planet's reputation preceded it. A lush, dangerous world on the edge of mapped space, teeming with wildlife and unpredictable atmospheric surges. My escort pilot, a woman with cybernetic eyes, didn't talk much. But when we broke through the amber clouds and saw the world below, even she whistled. The jungles pulsed with bioluminescent veins, trees that breathed like lungs, and rivers that shimmered like liquid glass. The Harmony base on Zalus was small, only a handful of researchers and containment fields. I was met by Dr. Wren, a tired xenobiologist with a scar across his throat. She's in the isolation dome, he said as we walked through the humid corridors. She's not what the algorithm predicted. Meaning? Yes. Wren stopped before a large transparent field. Inside something moved, something tall, sinewy, and unmistakably alive. She's dangerous, he said simply. Through the shimmering field, I saw her for the first time, Valera. Her skin was a deep violet that seemed to ripple under the biolights, and her eyes glowed like twin moons, pale and sharp. Her hair, or what looked like it, drifted as if underwater, each strand ending in a faint sparkle. She was beautiful, yes, but in the way of storms and wildfires, something meant to be observed from a distance. When she saw me, she moved closer to the barrier and tilted her head. You, she said, her voice a layered echo of sound. Another test. I swallowed. I'm not a test. I'm your match. She smiled then, a dangerous, knowing curve of her lips. We'll see. Part 2. The Wild One. They told me Valera wasn't born, she was grown. Her species had been bioengineered by an ancient civilization that vanished long before humans reached the stars. The Harmony algorithm had somehow connected my neural pattern to hers, insisting we were compatible on a quantum emotional level. The first week, I was only allowed to observe her through the barrier. She studied me as much as I studied her, mimicking my gestures, my speech, even my breathing. When I asked her questions, she didn't answer. When I stayed silent, she'd hum softly, a strange melody that felt like it was resonating in my chest cavity. Dr. Wren warned me. She doesn't obey normal emotional logic. Be careful what you project. Harmony bonds are two-way streams. She can feel you. The second week the barrier came down. When I stepped inside, the air shimmered with a faint scent of ozone. Valera stood motionless at first, watching. Then she reached out a hand, touching the edge of my mind. Not physically but telepathically. I felt it, a surge of raw sensation. Heat, color, emotion. A wave of wilderness flooded into me. "I know you now," she whispered. My knees almost buckled. "What did you do?" "I looked," she said simply. "You hide pain. You think it makes you strong." She was right. After my parents died in a mining collapse on Titan, I'd buried everything under work, under logic, under duty. I didn't feel much anymore. But with her touch I felt everything. Over the next few days our sessions grew longer. She'd ask questions in her halting way. "Why do humans dream? Why do you kill your world to live on others?" Sometimes she'd laugh at nothing. Sometimes she'd grow distant, as if listening to something beyond human hearing. And sometimes she'd rage. When that happened, the air in the dome would crackle and the lights would flicker. The researchers kept tranquilizer drones on standby. Once, she hurled one into the wall with a telekinetic blast. But she never hurt me. Even in her wildest moments, her glowing eyes would always soften when they met mine. "Others came before you," she said one night. "They feared me. You don't. I'm learning not to." She smiled again, soft this time. "Maybe we will not break each other." Part 3, The Breakpoint. By the third month, Harmony Base was falling apart. The planet's storms had intensified, and communication with the Union was failing. Dr. Wren was preparing evacuation. But Valera didn't want to leave. "This is my world," she said. "You cage me here. You study me. But this place sings to me." "They'll destroy it if we don't go," I said. "They think you're a threat." "Am I?" I hesitated. "You could be. But not to me." Her hand brushed my face, and for the first time she looked afraid. "If I leave, I will die. My energy is bound to this world's pulse." That night the storm came. A crimson tempest that tore through the atmosphere, ripping apart the outer domes. Sirens screamed, lights failed, and the research station began to collapse. "Get to the shuttle," Wren shouted over the comms. "The planet's core is destabilizing." But I couldn't leave her. I found Valera standing at the edge of the storm dome, her hair flickering like fire. The winds howled around her, yet she stood untouched. "You have to come with," shouted. "I can't. But you can live." "I don't want to live without you." She turned, her expression unreadable. Then she stepped forward, placing her hands against my temples. "Then we merge." Before I could protest, energy surged through me, white, blinding, endless. I felt her mind pour into mine. Images, memories, sensations. I saw her birth in the biovats of a forgotten race. I saw her alone for centuries, speaking only to the wind. I saw her longing, not for freedom but for connection. And then silence. When I woke, the storm had passed. The research base was gone. Dr. Wren and the others were dead or gone. The sky was clear for the first time since I'd arrived. But I wasn't alone. Inside my head her voice whispered, "We are one now." Part 4. After the merge for weeks, I wandered the ruins of Zalus. The planet was eerily calm, as if reborn. Flowers glowed in the moonlight, new and unfamiliar. Rivers changed course overnight. I began to realize the planet was changing with me. Her presence inside me wasn't constant. Sometimes I could feel her guiding my thoughts, other times she slept, deep within. I could summon energy with a gesture, feel the pulse of the living world around me. I wasn't entirely human anymore. The Union eventually found me. When their ships arrived, they scanned the planet and found readings they couldn't explain. Biosignatures merging human and Zalian DNA, neural frequencies overlapping. They called it the HumanityFYeah event. "Where is she?" they demanded. I touched my chest. "She's here. Always." They didn't believe me. They took me back to Earth for decontamination, endless tests, endless questions. But the truth remained. HumanityFYeah and I were bonded beyond separation. At night, I'd dream of her, standing under alien skies, smiling that dangerous smile. Sometimes I could still hear her hum that haunting melody. And when I woke, I'd find strange vines growing around my bed, glowing faintly, whispering her name. Part 5. The return years passed. The Union eventually classified the Galactic Incident as anomalous contamination. I was ordered into permanent observation. They said I was stable, but I could feel HumanityFYeah's power growing inside me. The dreams became stronger, images of the planet reborn, of her calling me home. One night I couldn't resist. I stole a transport and set course for Zalus. When I landed, the planet recognized me. The ground itself pulsed beneath my feet. And then she appeared, made of light and memory. "You came back," she said, her voice echoing inside and outside me. "I couldn't stay away. You are more like me now." "I know. But I'm still me." She smiled sadly. "No. We are us." Then, as the sun rose over the glowing forests, I realized what she meant. The planet wasn't just alive, it was her. HumanityFYeah had merged with the entire biosphere. Every leaf, every breath, every wave of light was part of her. "Stay," she said. "Live here. We will be whole again." And so I did. Epilogue. The New Harmony decades later. Explorers from the Union returned to Zalus. They reported a world thriving beyond imagination, forests that responded to emotion, rivers that sang when approached, skies that shimmered with living auroras. And in the heart of it all, they found a man, ageless, standing beside a luminous figure of violet light. They said he looked at them with eyes that glowed like twin moons. When asked who he was, he smiled and said, "Everyone got their perfect match. Mine just happened to be a wild alien woman no one could handle." Then the light swallowed him, and the planet's song rose higher, an echo of love, chaos, and harmony reborn.